And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent till proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent till proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees.
Truth. So hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time.
Hold on to your seats, gossip lovers, because the Diddy drama just took a turn so shocking, it'll make your head spin. The man who once ruled the music industry with an iron fist is now facing a nightmare behind bars that's straight out of a horror movie. We're talking daily abuse, mental anguish, and a fall from grace so steep it's left even his harshest critics stunned. Picture this: Sean Diddy Combs, the hip-hop mogul who built an empire on swagger and style, now reduced to a shell of his former self in a cold, unforgiving cell. Gone are the designer suits and flashy parties, replaced by prison greys and the constant fear of what, or who, might be lurking around the corner. It's a far cry from the lavish lifestyle he once flaunted, and sources say it's breaking him down, piece by painful piece. The once untouchable king of hip-hop now finds himself at the centre of a storm so dark and twisted that even his most loyal fans are struggling to comprehend how he ended up here. Gone are the days of private jets, extravagant parties, and designer suits. Instead, Diddy's reality is now defined by cold, hard walls, relentless whispers of conspiracy, and the unrelenting fear that he may never escape the clutches of a system seemingly designed to crush him. Diddy's imprisonment at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a facility notorious for its grim conditions, has shocked the world. The once flashy mogul, known for his charismatic presence and larger-than-life persona, now appears gaunt, grey-haired, and utterly defeated. Reports from inside paint a haunting picture of a man who once seemed invincible, now reduced to a shell of his former self. Observers at his recent court appearances have described him as astonishingly thinner, barely recognisable compared to the vibrant figure he was just months ago. As one journalist put it, the man who once flaunted a lavish lifestyle now looks astonishingly thinner, which is perhaps expected after months in a federal detention centre. The conditions Diddy is enduring are nothing short of horrifying. The Metropolitan Detention Center has earned a reputation as a living nightmare, described by some inmates as hell on earth. And it's not hard to see why. The facility is plagued by understaffing, overcrowding, and a litany of maintenance issues that make daily life almost unbearable. Inmates are reportedly subjected to freezing temperatures in the winter, stifling heat in the summer, and unsanitary living conditions that would break even the toughest spirits. For someone like Diddy, who had grown accustomed to the comforts of mansions and five-star accommodations, the adjustment must be nothing short of brutal. But the conditions aren't the only thing taking a toll on Diddy. Rumours swirling from inside the prison suggest that he is being deliberately targeted. Some claim that his food is being tampered with, which has led to reports that he's refusing to eat meals provided by the facility. Instead, he's allegedly surviving on commissary snacks, an existence far removed from the gourmet meals he once enjoyed. One prison consultant speculated that Diddy's fears aren't unfounded, suggesting that powerful enemies on the outside could easily have influence within the prison walls. Imagine if someone out there wanted to send a message, the consultant mused. They wouldn't need to break in, they just need to find the right person on the inside. Adding to the tension is the fact that Diddy's status as a high-profile inmate makes him a target not just for potential enemies, but for those who might want to make an example out of him. Being a celebrity behind bars comes with a unique set of challenges. Guards, inmates, and even staff members are said to have taken an unusual interest in his presence, with some reportedly going out of their way to make his life more difficult. Others, meanwhile, are rumoured to be leaking details about his day-to-day struggles to the media, feeding the public's insatiable appetite for drama. It's not just the physical hardships that are weighing on Diddy. There's an undeniable psychological element to his current predicament. Sources from inside the prison have described him as increasingly paranoid, his once confident demeanour replaced by a constant air of anxiety. He's said to spend most of his time alone, avoiding interactions with other inmates whenever possible. And who could blame him? The walls of the detention centre seem to close in tighter every day, and the whispers of betrayal and danger only grow louder. Diddy's desperate attempts to secure bail have been repeatedly denied, leaving him trapped in a place he has described to his legal team as unlivable. His lawyers have fought tooth and nail to get him released, arguing that the conditions at the detention centre are unfit for anyone, let alone someone trying to prepare for a high-stakes trial. But judges have refused to budge, citing concerns about potential interference. With witnesses if Diddy were allowed to return to his sprawling Miami mansion, the desperation in Diddy's legal maneuvers is palpable. His team has reportedly explored every possible angle, from appealing directly to the Bureau of Prisons to requesting transfers to other facilities. But so far, every effort has been met with resistance. Some have speculated that his inability to secure a transfer may be part of a larger, more sinister plan to keep him exactly where he is, vulnerable and isolated. Meanwhile, outside the prison walls, the reactions to Diddy's downfall have been mixed. For years, he was a polarizing figure, hailed as a genius by some, and criticized as ruthless by others. Now, as he faces the consequences of his alleged actions, his detractors are seizing the opportunity to revel in his demise. Whispers of schadenfreude have spread among those who claim to have been wronged by him in the past. He's finally getting what he deserves, one anonymous source reportedly said, with a tone that suggested a long-awaited sense of justice. But even as some celebrate his downfall, others can't help but feel a sense of pity. After all, this isn't just a story about a fallen star. It's a cautionary tale about the perils of power and the fragility of human dignity. Watching Diddy waste away in a detention centre known for its inhumane conditions has left some questioning whether the punishment truly fits the crime. How much suffering is enough to satisfy the demands of justice? And at what point does the line blur between accountability and cruelty? As the days turn into weeks, Diddy's situation only grows more dire. Reports suggest that he's losing weight at an alarming rate, his once muscular frame now reduced to a frail shadow of its former self. Observers at his court appearances have noted that his clothes hang loosely on his body, a stark contrast to the tailored suits he once wore with pride. His face, once so full of life, now appears hollow and gaunt, his eyes sunken and filled with a haunting mixture of fear and resignation. Even his health has become a topic of concern. While his legal team insists that he remains mentally sharp and focused on his defence, others have raised questions about whether he's truly in a fit state to withstand the pressures of his upcoming trial. The stress of his situation, combined with the physical toll of his imprisonment, has left some wondering how long he can endure before something gives. And yet, despite the overwhelming odds stacked against him, Diddy remains a figure of fascination. The world watches with bated breath, eager to see how his story will unfold. Will he emerge from this ordeal stronger, a phoenix rising from the ashes? Or will he become another cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most powerful can fall? As the whispers of conspiracy grow louder, one thing becomes clear. Diddy's story is far from over. In fact, it's only just beginning. Behind the scenes, forces are at play that could change everything. Secrets are being kept, alliances are being tested, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Because in a world where power and influence reign supreme, the line between truth and fiction is often blurred, and the real story is rarely the one we're told. What if Diddy's downfall isn't just the result of his alleged misdeeds? What if there's something deeper, something far more sinister at play? The whispers of conspiracy surrounding Sean Diddy Combs have grown louder in recent weeks, and they paint an unsettling picture of a man who may not just be fighting for his freedom, but for his very life. Could it be that Diddy is the victim of a betrayal so calculated, so ruthless, that it's left him trapped in a web of lies, with powerful forces pulling the strings from behind the scenes? Let's dig deeper into the mystery that's left even his most loyal fans questioning everything. Behind every great empire lies a network of protectors, people who operate in the shadows, ensuring the powerful stay powerful. and for years Diddy seemed untouchable. He built his fortune on his own terms, mastering the art of reinvention and silencing his critics with an overwhelming show of success. But according to some rumours, that success may not have been entirely self-made. Speculation has emerged that Diddy's rise to fame was aided by influential figures who had their own reasons for keeping him at the top. These figures, often described as untouchable elites, allegedly shielded Diddy from the consequences of various controversies throughout his career. Whether it was legal troubles, financial missteps, or personal scandals, he always seemed to emerge unscathed, his reputation intact. But what happens when the very people who once protected you decide it's time for you to fall? Some insiders believe that Diddy's current predicament is the result of a calculated betrayal by these unseen forces. The theory goes like this. Diddy had long been privy to secrets, powerful, damaging secrets that could bring down more than just his empire. For years he played along, keeping those secrets buried in exchange for their protection. But something changed. Maybe he stepped out of line, or maybe he became a liability. Whatever the reason, the same people who once shielded him are now allegedly orchestrating his downfall. One of the most chilling aspects of this theory is the idea that Diddy's legal troubles are just the tip of the iceberg. According to rumours, his arrest and detention are part of a larger strategy to silence him before he can reveal what he knows. A former associate of Diddy, speaking on condition of anonymity, claimed that the mogul had been growing increasingly paranoid in the months leading up to his arrest. He knew something was coming, the source said. He started talking about how he couldn't trust anyone anymore, how he felt like he was being watched. This paranoia, if true, seems to have been well-founded. The speed and severity with which Diddy's empire has crumbled suggest a coordinated effort to bring him down. From the multiple lawsuits filed against him to the federal charges that have left him languishing in a detention centre, every move seems calculated to strip him of his power, his wealth, and his freedom. But why now? What changed to make Diddy's former protectors turn on him? Some speculate that he may have been planning to come clean, to reveal the secrets he'd been keeping for all these years. Others suggest that he had simply outlived his usefulness, becoming more of a liability than an asset to those pulling the strings. Whatever the reason, the consequences have been swift and brutal. Diddy's once unassailable reputation lies in tatters. His business empire is crumbling, and he faces the very real possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. And all the while, those shadowy figures who once propped him up are nowhere to be seen, leaving him to face the music alone. As Diddy's legal battles continue, more and more questions are emerging about the true nature of his alleged crimes. Are the charges against him legitimate, or are they part of a larger conspiracy to bring him down? And if there is a conspiracy, how deep does it go? Some have pointed to the timing of the allegations against Diddy, noting that they seem to come out of nowhere, all at once. Could this be a coordinated effort to overwhelm him, to ensure that he has no chance of fighting back? Or is it simply the result of years of misconduct finally catching up with him? The truth, as always, likely lies somewhere in the middle. While it's clear that Diddy has made enemies over the years, and that his actions have hurt people, the scale and coordination of the efforts against him suggests something more than just karma coming back to bite him. As we continue to watch this saga unfold, one thing is certain: the story of Sean Diddy Combs is far from over. Whether he's the victim of a grand conspiracy or simply a man facing the consequences of his actions, his journey from the heights of fame and fortune to the depths of a federal detention centre serves as a stark reminder of how quickly the mighty can fall. In the end, perhaps the most important question isn't whether Diddy is guilty or innocent, but what his story tells us about the nature of power, fame, and the price of success in our modern world. As he fights for his freedom and his legacy, the rest of us are left to wonder, in a world where even the most powerful can be brought low, is anyone truly safe? Stay tuned, gossip lovers, because this story is far from over. The truth, as they say, is stranger than fiction. And in the case of Sean Diddy Combs, it might just be more shocking than anything we could have imagined.